if it feels scammy, it seems scammy, it's probably scammy. You know what I mean? It most likely is. So that's the
Understood.
thing. There's no such thing as a shortcut in this business realistically.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Bursey. And today we're talking about market agility and growth strategy with a top-tier industry leader. I'm thrilled to welcome RJ Avery, the head of Flex Group Real Estate, to the podcast. RJ, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, Scott, appreciate you having me on. Happy to talk about whatever we're going to talk about today.
Awesome.
Being
Yes, it's
professional.
just a pleasure to have you on. For those of our listeners who may not be familiar with your world, please tell us how did your career begin and where are you now?
Well, I got into the real estate industry basically in 2008, right after the largest financial crisis in modern history, I guess. Longest story short, the reason I got into it was I was always in the service industry outside of college and through college and ended up staying in it during college. Was blessed to become a father back in 2007. And at that time, I was working at a small East Dallas Italian restaurant. And I had a real estate broker, and his buddy would come in 3 times a week in that little down period between 2 to 5. And I kind of got to know him. And then once I was going to become a father, started talking to him about, hey, I didn't really want to be in the service industry anymore because in my mind, the hours and blah, 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 and family life. He suggested getting a real estate license. Ultimately, I did. Like I said, literally came in with my license passed and Bear Stearns was collapsing. So needless to say, I've got a crash course on how housing actually works. All the stuff that you saw in the movie The Big Short, I kind of learned about all that stuff on the fly through dealing with, like, my first listing appointment was a welder and his wife, and their house payment went from $700 a month to $900 to $1,200 to $1,800, and then capped at $2,600 a month within like 5 months because of that adjustable rate stuff. And they ultimately um, saw an opportunity and saw the reality was that, like, a lot of the agents around me, for lack of a better word, were dinosaurs. They didn't know how to use websites. They didn't know how to use a camera. I knew how to do all of these things, and I made a decision very quickly to go work for a smaller name broker that, nobody would know. It was a buddy of mine who actually dropped out of college and became an agent years prior, and went on with this 1%, basically what I would call commission negotiable. But the industry, because they would like to deride the services that I do, would call me discount real estate. Uh, Generally just saying that I charge 1% to list a house on the market for sale, instead of what most people would charge, which would be 3%. And using that model by 2012 in my market here in Forney, I was the top selling real estate agent for at least 3 or 4 years there. And it was really just through offering a better deal and answering my phone. and showing up to collect the business. There was no magic to it, just that. So
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
That's quite a journey from an eatery to a top-tier industry leader. That's awesome. Let's jump right in. Given the current interest rate environment, what's the single most effective strategy investors should focus on right now in your mind, RJ?
well, investors, investing in real estate is something that I do not think is for the weak. It's uh, social media, TikTok culture, I think, has made investment, this hustle culture idea, um, has made it seem easier and has probably brought a lot of people into the fold that maybe shouldn't even really being investing. A lot of the people I know that have been successful real estate investors, it's a long-term situation. You're typically willing to buy homes and sit on them for 5 to 10 to 20 years to really reap the true benefits of actually being a real estate investor. Um, when I came into the industry, in '07, on the back of the financial collapse, a lot of people got caught with their pants down on flips. And I think we're kind of starting to see a similar thing right now. Um, just because, with flipping, you have to be very careful and do your numbers and never trust a wholesaler. I would just say that never trust numbers given to you by somebody else. Always run numbers yourself. Always check comps yourself. You know, view the property yourself. Always as an investor, especially if you're going to be doing a flip. Make sure you really do your math because that's where I've seen so many people caught off guard recently with the amount of people investing in trying to own rentals, especially here in North Texas, in the new construction area specifically. You've seen people. I don't know who's telling people that these houses will rent for what they'll rent for, but they call me because they need property management, and I have to be the one to break the bad news that, well, I'm sorry, if your brother, cousin's mother told you that this is going to rent for 2,700, there's no possible way. We're only going to get 2,300 for it. So I would say, I don't. It's not about being skeptical or being pessimistic, but it is about being skeptical and asking questions. And you know, when it comes to being an actual end investor with the person with the money who's putting your money down, be very, very skeptical of the data you're given by other people. If somebody says, "Oh, this house is $100,000, the remodel's 40, the ARV is 280," look into it because that's the thing for investment. It's not it's in buyer beware, and definitely do your homework because it's not a part-time job. You know.
Message there is do your due diligence. And that's a powerful shift in perspective, RJ.
For
RJ,
sure.
curious. Flex Group Real Estate is clearly in a growth phase. What's the biggest internal lesson you've learned about successfully scaling a brokerage team?
Well, it's that real estate attracts people who are both amazing and also just delusional. Um, you know, people that the numbers are the numbers. 70% of people who get their license don't renew the second, at the 2-year mark. And then by 5 years, another 90% of people are gone from having a license. Now, a lot of people, those end up in real estate adjacent areas. They end up at builders or they end up at title companies. But yeah, I mean, that's really it, is just that holding people accountable and realizing that number one, the good agents are going to be the ones you don't have to hold accountable.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
The ones that that's why I was able to succeed in this industry, is because I'm not afraid of making a mistake. I'm Because inaction is a mistake. Not doing something is a mistake. Not trying is a mistake. Um, and that's the biggest problem I've seen, especially this younger generation. I think they're much more, social media and the way that people interact with social media and everything has changed a lot of how we, I guess, process self-awareness, and also makes people much more concerned with failure. And I think that can be a detriment to anybody who wants to succeed. Because yeah, as we grow this company, like I said, with agents specifically, it's just been it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell a person if they're really all in. Um, you know, the biggest reason I've had agents fail is because you text them and say, "Hey, it's Saturday afternoon. I got a call. This person wants to see this house in a few hours." Oh well, that's I hate to say it, and and this is sad but true, and I don't think it's the only reason. But the reason that the mother of my first child and myself didn't work out is that she did not understand the reality of being a self-employed. I tried to explain it this way way back then. Was like, it's kind of like being a drug dealer. Like, you have to go. You just have to go. When the phone rings, the job calls, you go. It's not. It's sometimes it's going to waste your time, but you got to keep learning the numbers, keep figuring out how to answer the calls, qualify the clients before you waste time. But you have to be able to go, and there's no time for excuses at the end of the day. It's just constant action,
Absolutely. When that phone rings,
learning it.
yeah, it sounds to me like, when somebody needs you, it's you need to pounce on that opportunity and capitalize on that opportunity, no matter when it is. Absolutely. That's essential advice, RJ. And we're seeing mixed signals in the commercial versus residential markets right now. Where do you see the best untapped opportunities for mid-sized investors in, let's say, the next 12 months?
um, I'd be looking anywhere, any in well, Texas is really what I know. I can't really speak to much more than that. Um, any of these cities, Commerce comes to mind, Stephenville. And the reason I say this is Commerce is where Texas A&M Commerce is. They just moved up to Division I school from Division II about 4 or 5 years ago. Um, yeah, so and Stephenville is where Tarleton is. They're a smaller kind of boutique school, but they're headed that direction, in my opinion, over the next 10 to 15 years. Any of these small college towns across Texas, where the college has been for 40, 50, 60 years, it's established. Abilene is another one, Lubbock. These small areas, I think, are probably your best bet right now as far as getting something at a reasonable price that can actually possibly cash flow still, or at the very much break even, and does have an upswing potential because of the fact that these areas are going to continue to grow because of the college. You know, as far as like the major metroplexes, if you've got big money, multifamily is definitely still the place to go if you're looking to, if you can park money for minimum 5 years, ideally 10 to 20 years. If you can park money in some of those places, Austin, Dallas, of course, um, multifamily 4+ units, as well as, Same thing outside when it comes to, like, outside of the metroplexes, outside of Dallas, um, towns like Princeton. I'm in Forney, we're kind of already growing, this is huge already now, but Wills Point is 35 miles east of us. It's basically the same town I grew up in here 40 years or 30 years ago. It's still very small. These are kinda still, in my opinion, the places that you could get the most bang for your buck long term, you
Makes a lot
know?
of sense. Are you focusing on North Texas, or do you go as far as Austin?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I have agents in Austin. So, yeah, I do have agents
Okay.
down there. I've got 7 agents total right now. Most of them are actually kind of more towards East Texas. Um, but I've got one very good motivated Austin agent that can handle quite a bit. So, and obviously I go down there and I help him take pictures and do marketing. I drive a hybrid for obvious reasons for the amount of mileage we do. Yeah, no
Understood.
fancy Mercedes or Tahoe for me. I've got a small little little Kia Niro that gets me done. But yeah, basically I will theoretically I'll list a house anywhere in the state of Texas just
Okay.
because as long as it
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay. Awesome. And walk us through this, if you would, RJ. One technology or platform do you feel is truly revolutionizing how real estate transactions are handled right now?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest change in all was just the fact I think the general public and agents, everybody, just the fact that the real estate database coming online on realtor.com circa 1999 was really the biggest. That was the watershed moment, in my opinion, because um, what people don't realize, and I think that the National Association of Realtors made a lot of missteps when it comes to representing us, the realtors, which are supposed to be the members and the people, obviously the things there for the general public to be helpful. Um, but when they syndicated all of our data and put it in one place for everybody to see, that changed everything. Now, subsequently, positive stuff I would say is just auto document signing. I mean, I think that the dot loop DocuSign thing, like I said, when I started in '07, '08, some of my first contracts were on a fax machine. Um, by 2012, I basically had a paperless office, where everything was done via dot loop or via my iPad. I could have people sign it. I think that's been one of the most revolutionary things for us as agents and one of the most time-saving things, because now instead of having to literally drive over to somebody's house to get initials and signatures, it's just an email. And that, I mean, you're talking hours and hours and hours of time that is saved. So I think that's the one actual technology that's truly revolutionized the way real estate gets done for us as agents and has helped us be more productive and save more time and let us be home for dinner more often than anything else right now. I mean, there's all kinds of pulls and bells and photography, all this stuff. But the reality is, in my opinion, the house is in a great location and it's priced right. I could put the pictures of the wrong house up. Uh, it's gonna sell. You know what I mean? Like, somebody's gonna show up and see.
An iPad, a key
So,
tool for efficiency. Absolutely. Yes. RJ, if you could give a new investor starting today only one piece of non negotiable advice, what would that be?
I mean, that's a tough one. It just depends on where they start, how much money you have and all that stuff. I mean,
Right.
if you're starting with a large amount of money, just be careful. Be careful. Like, do your homework. Like you said, it goes back to due diligence. Always believe the numbers. Always believe what you can see on paper that actually is comparable. Um, you know, be be careful of people that are trying to sell you success, if that makes sense. Like without work. If they're trying to tell you that this is easy, no problem. This is like, I see it right now with the subject to or the sub two things and the people trying to do all these kind of deals, which I think could end up being a nightmare down the road for a lot of people. Um, but it's just like, oh, this is easy. You can go on Zillow and find a free house and you can do this. And it's just that, if it feels scammy, it seems scammy, it's probably scammy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It most likely is. So that's the
Understood.
thing. There's no such thing as a shortcut in this business realistically. No.
Follow your gut.
Unless you got a government contract of some sort.
Right. Let
Right.
me ask you this. Where do you feel the vision for the Flex Group is headed? Or what type of vision do you have? Let's put it that way. Down the road. Let's talk long term. This is a long game. You're in it for the long haul. What's the vision for the long game?
I'd definitely like to attract some younger, motivated agents over the next 2 to 3 years that understand the value of being commission negotiable in real estate and realize that you don't have to work for one of these big brokers to make the money. The numbers are that realistically, you go work with one of these big brokers, you're probably not going to make the cut anyways in the long run. But that if you are passionate about actually helping and working people, that I guess the biggest thing is to me, because so many people in our business get stuck on a percentage, right? They get stuck on this one number that it has to be, and everything is this, and I don't do anything less than that. And I'm just of the opinion that you don't have to hit a home run with every client. And not every client needs a home run. If a client is, for instance, just recently had this happen. Folks were selling their house, or one, they bought a house from me. They wanted to buy a house before they sold, which is great. I mean, that's ideally for us and everybody involved because you don't have to worry about contingencies, all the headaches of the logistics. So went and bought them the house, and then we go to sell their house, and I was going to list it on the market for my general 1% like I always would. Well, they called me and said, "Hey, we talked to the neighbor. They want to buy it." Okay, great. Well, so I talked to the neighbor, and I did all the processing for $1,000 instead of just doing 1%. And even went lower on them just because to me, being negotiable like that and showing people that you're truly going to work with them is what's going to build loyalty and have them actually talk about you and share your name, instead of it having to revolve around your personality, I guess, if that makes sense, and trying to be
Yes.
friends with everybody. Because that's the thing is I don't think everybody wants to be friends with their real estate agent. You know what I mean? I don't, or their doctor, or you know what I mean? It's great. Let's be friendly. Let's be cordial. Let's get to know each other. Let's be genuine. But I think there is an element in this business of people who are not any of those things, and they act like that just because they want to get business. And I think there's a much better way to do it. If I could find two or three younger agents who are driven, the sky's the limit. Like, because I was able to go from doing nothing by my fourth year selling 40 houses, by my fifth year selling almost 100 houses. And that's all just through, in my opinion, like I said, being negotiable, showing up and doing the right thing by people. And I think there's just going to be more and more of a market for that as we continue to move forward. So hopefully just to capitalize on that.
Excellent. Excellent advice. Absolutely. And RJ, if our listeners would like to follow your journey or to collaborate with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, you can go on flexgrouprealestate.com. Obviously, that goes directly to me. Pretty much everything on there goes to me. Facebook, you can look me up, RJ Avery or Flex Group Real Estate. TikTok, I have Captain Save Some Dough is my handle on there. And that's kind of where I mean, that's the only one I really use right now. Just kind of do blurbs. It's not obviously not super produced or anything. But that's probably the main ones, like TikTok and Captain Saves or Flex Group Real Estate, either or. And then Facebook, RJ Avery, or just flexgrouprealestate.com. So.
Awesome. Captain, save some dough. I love it. RJ, this has been more than a pleasure. It's been an honor to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Scott. Thanks for your time.
And for our listeners, we appreciate you. If you received value from today's episode, please subscribe. We have more conversations coming up with operators just like RJ. Until next time, guys, keep your standards high and your vision clear. We'll see you in the next episode, everyone.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.